Super excited to have you. Thank you so much, Pablo, for joining the Future of UX podcast. Welcome.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much, Patricia. I say welcome. No, it's thank you for having me, Patricia. Super excited. Is that Patricia or is it Patricia?
A lot of people ask that. I don't really know because I'm German, and in German it's like Patricia, So
Patricia. I love it.
I think it's
Patricia.
it's
Okay.
it sounds like very strict, very like conservative. So I think like
Well,
Patricia
that's
sounds the nicest, but Patricia is also okay. So also switched between Patricia and Patricia, so
uh
it's fine.
what about Pat? No, Pat, no. That's you're like,
Pat, I
too
think it's
far.
like not female
Too
enough.
cash. Oh, you think so? Okay, yeah,
Mm,
Pat. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Like Patton Oswald. No.
mm.
Pat. What about Patty?
Patty sounds okay. Yeah, some friends call me Patty.
Okay.
But
So,
let's not make this about me. I
well,
want
it is about me because, like, I want to know at what moment I can call you Patty.
you can call me
Uh,
Patty if you want.
okay,
That's
cool.
that's totally fine. So again, welcome. Super glad to have you here. I must say I'm a huge fan. I haven't said that in our intro, but I watched you many times on stage. I laughed so much. I'm a
Hmm.
huge fan of your presentations. They're always like hilarious but very informative. So I'm super curious to dive a little bit into your career and what you're doing at the moment. So before we are diving into the topic, please do a quick introduction, tell our listeners who you are and what you're currently doing.
Yes. So, thank you, Pat and Patty, and I feel a little bit embarrassed now that you've seen some of my talks. I'm always nerve-wrack up there, but
You don't seem like
uh,
it.
no. Oh yeah, I'm good at hiding it.
Yeah, very
I'm
good.
good at, yeah, but I do think that the stage, you have done talks too, right? And
Yeah.
you've been in camera before. I mean, we are in camera before, but right now, but you've done courses and stuff like that, right? And you have a
Mhm.
YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about like that black abyss that is on the other side, that is like looking at you like judge in a judgmental way, like a do you feel comfortable like in front of the lens, in front of the camera?
Yes. So for me, I try to convince myself that the people there are waiting for my talk, that they're excited to listen to me. And when I say
Yeah.
this to me, like, for several days, I believe it at some point. And this really
Wow.
helps me to be
Okay.
confident. Yeah.
So you try to brainwash yourself into like,
Exactly.
hey,
Even if they're sleeping
or
there and not listening, I'm like, they are excited, right? This is the reason
you're
why they're
excited.
sleeping or so. No. Yeah.
I love that. I'm gonna use that as a tool. Like I don't know. I want to not think about the people. It's just like no. Because if I start thinking about them, I think I start worrying more.
Yeah.
It's like who's gonna be there? Who's gonna judge me? Oh my god, they're gonna hate it. Why am I doing this? You start like I start going into this nerve-wracking spiral, and
Yeah.
suddenly like I'm just like paralyzed. So I try to not think about them. They're just like a blank state. Just like, yeah, but I'm here. I'm giving it. I'm, but once you're up there, it feels so good to look, man. But then suddenly, like when they're laughing, when you see and there's a reaction, it's a positive reaction. It's just the best feeling in the world, right?
Yeah.
It's just
They
like
never laugh
yes.
at my talks. So this never happened. Not once, I think.
Oh,
I'm not that
oh,
funny, you
okay.
know?
So but do you try to make them laugh? I mean, maybe it will be bad if you're not trying to make them laugh and suddenly they start laughing, right?
I think I'm not so into jokes, you know? I think like also when I'm going to a design conference, people don't laugh that much, I feel. They laugh at your
So,
talks because they are hilarious, but most designers are not that funny, to be
okay.
true.
Yeah, okay. So you're saying you hate humor. You prefer that people are straight and just like
No,
and don't go and because I'm kidding.
I
No.
definitely don't. I think it's great, but it's also very difficult to be funny. Like also like
So
stand-up comedy and all these things. This is like fascinating for me. This is like my black box that I don't understand. How people can be so funny spontaneously, come up with jokes, create this kind of humor. Also, what you are doing, for me, super, super inspiring. So what is
Oh,
this for
thank
you?
you.
Like, how do you come up with the topics that you share in talks? What are the topics that you like to talk about?
I mean, for the longest time, it's been just like mm, I found that making it personal is kind of cool. You know, it's
Mhm.
kind of good. It's good because, well, you're talking about something that you know about and that feels close to your heart. And also, people seem to react better when uh, there's a personal take on something.
Yeah.
And even and for the longest time, I would be a little bit too cynical about that, you know, because like, oh, come on, you're just talking about yourself, you know, you're just making this about you. And because I would see people on stage, she was just like, I would hate that. But I didn't get it. I was an idiot. I'm still an idiot, working on it. But I'll be a little bit too cynical about like, oh, you're just like showing stuff about you and you and you and yourself and not making it about the audience or about something that is going to be useful for people. But
Yeah.
after doing talks and trying to avoid talking about myself, I realized that actually it's never about you. It's never about yourself. It's always about them.
Yeah.
Even when you make it about yourself, even when you talk about yourself, the people on the other side, people receiving that information and going through their brains, they're going to find a way to make it about themselves, you know, and they're even when it's a personal story up there on stage, that personal story that might be very particular to you, they're still going to make it about themselves and find some a meaning for them. So so I think it works. It works that way. And now that I've realized that, it's like, hey, I'm okay talking about myself on stage a little bit
Yeah.
more. And you know what? Actually, I feel more comfortable because I'm the most important person in the world. And I'm very interesting. So why not talk about myself? It's people, yeah, they want to know. It's so yeah, I'm slowly coming to realize that I'm just amazing and that people want that from me.
Love that confidence. I think we all need that
No.
sometimes, right? Like from time to time, you think like, I'm amazing. People want to listen to me. And this is okay, right? If you have something to tell, something that people get value out of, it's totally, I think it's totally fine to think that,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
And
Not
do
all
you
the day, right? But like not all the
what
time.
what what was the last topic that you gave in a conference or in a talk?
I was about AI and design.
AI and design.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is your take on AI and design?
So I am personally very excited about AI. I see a lot of opportunities. I am
Hmm.
self-employed, so I'm running my own business. I have my own design studio, and I am automating a lot of things with AI currently
Hmm.
using ChatGPT, Gemini's, GPTs. I personally, it basically automated pretty much everything that I wanted to automate, that I can focus much more on the things that I enjoy, being creative, doing my own research about topics, doing interviews for my podcast, and leaving all the tedious stuff to AI. That works pretty
I
well. Of
so
course. Yep.
you are doing the dream of what AI should be, like giving it the menial, Monday things that you don't want to do, or that maybe you're like, I'm too good for that. I already know how to do that. Why doing it again when I can be focusing on this other thing that is more interesting? That's
Yeah.
is that and it sounds great because like you as a like you're a solopreneur, right? And
Yeah.
you're a solo designer. Do you have like an agency or something? I mean, like a free like you freelance or something?
I'm freelancing. Sometimes I'm working
Wow.
with different people, but so I'm very, very flexible and free. And yeah, it works
Yeah.
super well. Of course, I can't automate everything, right? Like I still need to do the dishes here. I need to do the cleaning. There are still things that I can't automate, although I would love this to be automated. It can't. But I think like some of the things that I really hate to do, I automate it. So I
Yeah.
am generally like very positive towards AI, but I'm also seeing, of course, like some challenges, some things that we need to be very cautious about. And I personally really speak to designers and say, educate about AI. Learn about
Hmm.
AI, how to use it, how to leverage it, and also learn about the pitfalls. Because what you definitely shouldn't do is just like incorporate it in everything, but you need to have the knowledge and understand how AI works and how you can use it, basically. This is my
Yeah,
take.
you need to know how to ask for things, right? To
Exactly.
just like how to like the whole prompt engineering thing, where it's like
Exactly.
I love that now uh have you seen this that now designers in a way we kind of have an advantage over like coding, because now coding a lot of it is actually like how the new coding language is English.
Hmm.
It's natural
That's
language.
true.
It's just like talking like a person to another person, like a human to another human, even though the other thing is not a human. But it is a little bit like that. And then you ask it and you're clear and you ask it the right way. And then the other person, the other thing on the other side, the little robots, I like to call them,
Yeah.
the little robots do their job. And the clearer you are, the better. I seen a lot of engineers, coders that actually have a really hard time with this,
Hmm.
because it's the non-deterministic nature of this, and the whole idea that the coding part of this is natural language. It's just like speaking English,
Yeah.
and it's not like a set of formulas or a set of commands that will give you predictable results. Like that can be very frustrating for some coders.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have you seen that? Have you heard that kind of
Yes.
stuff from different people?
Yes, 100%. So I'm doing a lot of workshops with agencies, companies. There are also always a lot of developers involved in these workshops. And of course, they are very concerned about the future, about how should they, yeah, I mean, for a reason, right? But I think personally, if they are very strategic about using AI, coding, prompting, they still have a super great advantage. Because even if as a designer, you know how to prompt, you know how to code the basics with prompting. There's a huge difference between like having a professional developers who's good at prompting, can do all the tedious coding stuffs with AI, and then build the difficult things themselves and build the strategy behind these topics. I think those people
Yeah,
are in need for sure in the future, now as well. So
I-
you need
I'm
to
going to
uplevel
make a
it a little bit.
comment.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a comment that is going to get me canceled in your podcast. You want to hear it?
Yes.
Okay, let's hear the hot take from Pablo. But like, I think that a lot of coders are having a hard time with this because it is like natural language. It's like talking to a person, and
Mhm.
data show us that choosing a coding profession and computer science, there's a lot of people who are on the spectrum,
Mhm.
and being in the spectrum sometimes is like a talking or like in a natural way can be difficult. So maybe that's why some coders are having a hard time. I'm see I'm going to get canceled for this comment. Supposedly that's what data shows, and now I'm just speculating why some people might have a hard time, and maybe writers, just or speech writers, or people who do service design, or people who do UX copy and stuff like that, will have a better way of like talking to these little robots, and will have an advantage because they use the natural language that we all use and that these things understand.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, so is this done? It's like how cancel am I getting?
I think a little bit of hate, but that's fine, I guess. That's
Okay,
okay.
I love that you're a techno optimist. Would you consider yourself like that? Techno optimist, is that how you say it?
I
Like
never heard the expression, but I think we just frame it now, techno optimist. I think I am, yeah.
yeah, and are you because it seems like you're a solo designer, you're a solopreneur, but somehow you're a team of, I don't know, 520. It feels like that, right? Because you have the person who's going to be helping you with your copywriting, with your ads, with your, I don't know, with responding emails, with your customer service and all that stuff. Because
Hmm.
all of that stuff, AI can help you. Suddenly you're not just one person, you're your whole team.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And everyone can do that, right? Like it's not
It-
just me. Everyone has the same opportunities now. And I think this is super interesting, thinking a little bit about the future, like the film industry, for example. Like all these amazing like indie movie companies basically who have so many opportunities now. Thinking about like
it-
Sora coming out at some point, right? Like it's it's I think a lot of opportunities, especially for smaller
yeah,
agencies, freelancers, smaller companies. Yeah, which I think is pretty interesting. Yeah.
I was in a demo yesterday of a company called Shader, and just I'm investing on it, so maybe just a little note there. And they were developing this thing where it's like in real time, it's changing with a prompt, and it's
Hmm.
using like a real time. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like real time changing. You say like, make me I don't know, Mickey Mouse, and then you will look like Mickey Mouse, but as you're moving, and it will actually capture
Hmm.
your emotions, your language, and everything, and it's like a video. So, and they were showing this as a tool to be used like on places like Discord, or even on calls like this, where it's like I can just put a prompt and it's like, hey, make me a cartoon character, or make me like a famous person, and then
Hmm.
suddenly it changes, and it changes in real time. It's still the precision of it is still not. I don't know. I was excited about that. And have you ever used these kinds of things where it's like in real time you are changing and you can see yourself turning into a different person with AI and you
I
just the prompt?
think mm, I think we tried it in the workshop once, but like someone else prepped everything, so I just tried it, and it was like it was not working super well. It was
Hmm.
okay. But I know what you mean. It's fascinating. I have seen these videos on TikTok or LinkedIn. Very, very fascinating to see. And
Yeah.
yeah,
And,
super
and
interesting.
it's almost like a filter, right? It's almost like a lens filter, but like a pretty advanced one, whereas like you say it what it is, right? And in a lens filter, oh, you will suddenly have ears, right? And it's actually
Yeah,
just capturing your in real time, like a 3D model, and it's putting the ears there. But this is a totally different thing because it's just like frame by frame, it's generating a new thing based on the prompt. And
yeah.
the thing is that I tried it, and the first time I tried one of these and things, I was like, hey, well, I have a beard, have a fat face. Maybe I should choose other people with beards and fat faces, and put no, Galifianakis. What wasn't his name? The actor from. Do you know who I'm talking about? Galifianakis, the actor.
Aquaman?
And Aquaman? No,
I
it's
have
not
no idea
Aquaman.
what you're
He's the
talking
opposite of
about.
that. Hold on, the guy from Between Two Ferns. Um, the guy from oh man, I'm the worst interviewer right now. I'm the worst
You
interviewee,
can look
right?
it up, right? Like you can like another note here somewhere.
Let me
Note number
let me
two.
open a browser. Galifianakis. Let me go. I was saying Jack, and I was like, no, it's not
Um,
Jack. Zach Galifianakis. You know who Zach Galifianakis is, right?
I
Kind of looks like me. A little bit chubby, beard. Anyway, I would put Zach Galifianakis, and then I would look like Zach Galifianakis, and I thought of that because like, hey, it's kind of I suppose it would do a better job because I have a beard and a fat face,
mhm.
uh, and it did. And these things usually you have two screens, in real time. One, the video feed in real time, just like this, like that we're having right now, and then on the side you have the one that is being rendered, the one with the prompt, and it's like you moving one and both move, but one is you and the other one is Zach
Yeah.
Galifianakis or Jack Black. I said, And the thing is this, I realized that my brain really quickly like said, "Oh, like it seems like now I'm this person."
Yeah.
Like just like that. And I think it was the real time part of it that I was seeing it and it was reacting to my emotions. And I was like, opening the mouth and doing like opening my eyes. And then Zach Galifianakis on the other side will be opening his eyes and opening his mouth. So it was like suddenly my brain, like it was so easy for my brain to say, like, oh, now I'm this person. That's okay.
Wow. It's
But it
crazy.
was instant. It didn't have a hard time thinking, who is this? What is going on? It was just like that, instant. And the thing is this, there was like at least the application that I was using, it was showing me both. It was just showing me the real Pablo and
Yeah.
then the Pablo that is looks like a famous person. And I will be look at the famous person. It's like, oh, this is really fun. And I will look to the other side, to the real Pablo. Is like, oh, I don't like that one. So it was kind of my brain suddenly liked my famous person version more than my real one. It was like kind
Yeah.
of sad, like looking at
Yeah.
side by side. Oh, I am not that. I am this. Oh, it was
Yeah.
so weird that my brain instantly thought like this. And I instantly felt like, oh, depressed that I was not that. And I suppose it's just like the fame is just the whatever this I don't know, idealized version that we have on famous people and
Yeah.
Hollywood people. So even though it was Zach Galifianakis, not the dream person for anyone, and no one wants to be like him, more than Brad Pitt, for example, at least men. But it was still a famous person, and
Yeah.
my brain kind of liked it more,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I
I
get
suppose like
that.
the I so and you know what? I have a name for this. Do you want to hear me coining this effect?
Yes.
Okay, a name I'm calling it the Malkovich effect. Have you ever seen the movie Being Joe Malkovich?
Yeah.
Okay, so you remember like the premise of the movie is these people who find a tunnel into just the mind or being inside the mind or the body more than anything of Joe Malkovich.
Hmm.
Joe Malkovich being a famous actor, famous person, and even in this thing, well, he was a theater actor, right? So suddenly you found a portal that takes you inside the body of Joe Malkovich, and you are in there, and you will see yourself in the mirror, and it's not you anymore. Now you're Joe Malkovich. So the premise of the movie, it was that once you're taken out of his mind, you will want to go back as soon as possible because it feels like, oh my God, that was amazing. I was not myself. It was amazing to be this other famous person. And you wanted to go back to it became kind of even an addiction, because being this other person, you like suddenly you had privilege. You were living in this other, you were a famous person. People recognize you and you had power and you weren't your sad, lonely self
Yeah.
anymore. So I feel like it is like that. That suddenly you in real time can be Joel Malkovich,
Yeah.
and that effect that you feel as soon as you see the other side, the real you feel that
Yeah.
sadness that those characters felt. And
Yeah.
and I don't know, whatever it is, Spike Jonze has it right. Because he also directed the movie Her, and we have been saying that, oh, well, OpenAI, even though they say no, but they refer to the whole experience of this thing talking to you, and you having natural conversations with it as the movie Her, which is also from Spike Jonze. There's also another movie from Spike Jonze about robots, but this is a short. So we should, if you want to learn about the future of AI, we should all study movies from Spike Jonze. I think that's my theory here.
Okay, great tip. I will link all the movies in the show notes so people can check it out and just like watch some movies as some good resources. But I
Yeah,
agree. I think sometimes it's also good to discuss these topics and think about them because what you just explained sounds so dystopian. And
yeah, yeah,
yeah, I mean, it sounds horrible. It sounds really sad. And I feel like that most people would probably feel that way somehow if they would like see themselves as, I don't know, a famous actor or someone like this. And I think in small, we already have that with social media, right? Like scrolling through TikTok, seeing reels from different creators, and having the feeling like those people are our friends. They are not. They don't know us, but we are following what they're doing, their daily vlogs, how they cook, what they, what they do on vacation. And this is the same thing, right? Like you want to be a part of that. Although there is nothing, like there is no relationship, but you feel like I want to be a part of that life.
yeah.
Yeah, which is
It's a
a bit like this in small.
it's weird, but something. So that was me, old Pablo, who has depression and hates himself. Maybe that was the effect that I had, and maybe for all of those who have to take medication, maybe you shouldn't be using these tools. First, talk to your psychiatrist and your psychologist before you start using these tools.
Yeah.
And the dystopian side, right? The dystopian
Mhm.
side, where it's like these things that suddenly you can become any person, and then that any other person will be maybe you will like more that other person. But you know
Yeah.
what? I think that the newer generations, younger people, because you and I, we're not that in that age bracket anymore.
Yeah.
Um, and the newer generations, I've seen that actually they use these things, but in a very cool way that is actually playing characters, and it's
Mm.
actually like they are aware that this person is not them. They are aware, and other people are. You go into groups, into Discord, into. I mean, if there was ever a version of the metaverse that is actually real, is Discord. That's where actually things are happening, where people are. All the other promises of the metaverse, like, yeah, 3D and VR is like, yeah, I think it's already here on Discord. Anyway, or on games like Minecraft and Fortnite.
Roblox
But
also, right? Yeah.
yeah, and the thing is that I seen kids using these tools as a way to actually turn into a character. And when they turn into a character, they change their personality. They change their. It's not them trying to be something else. It's not them trying to fool the other person into, hey, this
Mm.
is a real me. No, it's I'm playing a character, and
Yeah.
and you are also playing a character, and it's cool to play characters, and it's cool to dress up. It's
Yeah.
cool that we get to play to have Halloween every day. And I find that super cool. That is actually the healthy way of seeing these things. Whereas, like, hey, I know who I am, and I get to be all these other people too. So this in this global plural world, I get to play all these roles, and I get to be with other people that also love these other roles, and they also get to play with me doing these things.
Rob,
Yeah,
maybe you can quickly talk about the tool that you founded, that you created, because I think most listeners maybe don't know it, haven't tried it yet. Tell us real quick what it is, what you can do with it, and why you started it.
yeah. So we started working on something called Mushu with an
I
S,
always say
SH.
mucho, okay. Mucho,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
Mushu. And it's a tool for. I mean, we're trying to create the business design assistant that a designer can have, like an AI. I call them little robots. I don't like the term AI because it's not even AI. It's kind of AI. It's machine learning. Anyway, the little robots that are there to help you. And these little robots are just like always so down to do stuff, and they're always excited and just like, yes, let's do it all. Yes, Pablo, what do you want? So these little robots, but they're also like little baby robots because they're eager to help. They're like interns, and just like, yeah, let's do it. And without interns, without the cynicism, uh, and they're down to work and to help, but also like interns. eh, sometimes they make mistakes, and they by the way, you should pay your interns. If you have interns, pay them. Anyway, uh, and you have to guide them. You have to be on top of them, and you have to be like, hey, not exactly what I wanted, but let's do it this way, okay? And you have to still like invest time so they get better. And I think it is a little bit like that, but also like a young, eager person, or people who are just starting at a job. Usually, when we're just starting, or I can see myself as a younger designer, I wanted to do it all, and I wanted to be as helpful as possible. And these little robots feel like that, where like they're down to help on anything. And we just built a tool that allows designers to use these little robots for different things. Right now, we have a Figma plugin that allows people to just create different layouts and different. We started with just landing pages, but now we are expanding to social media stuff, to like actual more like web app or mobile app designs. And most of it is just like designs that are layers that already exist, like templates that we or have already by 20, 24 years. I don't know how long the web exists, but that we have already made as the patterns of the web, how the web already looks,
Yeah.
and those things that we have already created and we have set as the standards. So these things are really good at using those standards. That just like what a hero section layout would look like, and then recreating those things, still with the ability for you designer to take that as the first step, almost like the wireframe, like a high fidelity wireframe.
Hmm.
Then you can edit.
Yeah.
And for us, it's important that it is seen like that. It's just like we took you 60% of the way there, still you designer, you still have to put the extra stuff that will make this special,
Yeah.
that's the, uh, the robots can do we're making them good at the things that we already are good at, and that we're already are feel even repetitive. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to do a sign up form again. It's like all sign up
Yeah.
forms. Like we have established the patterns for what a good sign up form is. We don't have to reinvent it.
I
So maybe
agree.
there's some things that, hey, I want the sign up form to have a layout on the form on the left and a big image on the right. Hey, that kind of stuff can be done. It's like, and now you're more like choosing the options that already exist. And it's not even the robots that invented, we invented
No.
them. You get to use those, and the robot can get to fill the like what it thinks the copy should be, and then you get to refine it. So now, and as a designer, I don't have to waste a lot of time doing those things that are already established, and I can just like make in an instant 3 or 4 versions of a sign up form,
Yeah.
and then choose the one that will be better, and then refine that one. And
Yeah.
on the refinement, you can still use Mushu, the AI plugin, or you can just do it yourself because you're in Figma, and you can just like change the copy, use copy, and change the image and all that stuff. So that's basically how we started. Like that's a let's serve to that 60-70% there. The stake designers there, and then so they get to do more, use us as a tool that allows them to just create multiple options, and then which is something that we already do, we already do mood boards with a lot of different things, and then we get to like pick and choose. I like this, and I like this other thing, and then
Hmm.
I like this other thing, and then we make a mashup of those options. We kind of do that thing too. Like we have seen people that use our tool to create different layouts for the same thing, and then pick and choose the things that they want from that thing the little robots made to make their own.
Yeah.
So that, and now we're actually like connecting to your own templates. So maybe you already
Hmm.
designed something. So instead of letting the robot just come up with with something that maybe feels too generic, because like we're using just standards we have already said, you already made your own really cool design. Well, let's use that as a template and actually regenerate and use AI to give you more options of that template, or just like change the content of that template.
Mhm.
Where like, hey, maybe you already put a template that's like, this is a heading, this is a subheading, this is CTA, this is an
Like a
image.
design library, basically.
You can design your own library of templates you want the thing to use,
Hmm.
and then at the end you just write with a prompt. It's like, if one of them was called email I don't know, onboarding campaign or something, and if you save it that way, you can just like save your template, write, hey, make a new email onboarding that tells people about this new promotion that we have. And then it will use that template you already designed. It will not try to change that,
Yeah.
but it will try to make new content with that thing that you've designed. Just like, hey,
Yeah.
well, now you have a new promotion. Let's do another email that you have, that you created, and then just change the copy so it does that. So it takes
Cool.
all those steps that you would have already done, manually
Yeah.
would have done, and it's just like it presents you with three options of the same thing, of
Yeah.
that same template you use. And it's like, oh, okay, oh, I like this copy. Hey, I didn't like this copy. Rechange it. Give me another option. Give me
Yeah.
three more options of the same copy. Then it gives you, and then you get to refine it again. So
Sounds
I
great.
that's how I see our tool, like the ideal use of this tool, where it's like, hey, it's more of an iteration tool, and this iteration can be on things that you're too tired to think about, like what a hero section is. Like, hey, just give me a hero section, or just give me a form, and we'll do it. And then from there, you get to do the details. Or, hey, already made a design. Just use the design. Don't try to be too creative, okay?
Yeah. And I'm also seeing probably like, like my product managers, my project managers, like not design people in the team who have access to Figma designing with prompts. This is what I'm
Exactly.
experiencing at the moment already. They're creating their own flows, their own designs, and they're presenting in design in team meetings. And then you as a designer, you need to be a good one to explain them how this could be even better, improved, or say that that's a great idea. Let's go with it, right? Like
Yeah.
this challenges our position a lot, I feel. Design.
Well, it pushes us to do other stuff that I think is. I mean, I think that it gives us the ability to focus on what we have fought for a long time that is important. It's like, hey, uh, UX copy is important. Hey, the like trying different things is important. It's important to just like present different ideas and see what works better. These tools and Mushu could be used for that kind of stuff. Whereas like, hey, you focus on the things that we UX product or whatever designers we have for years that we should put more time into, and not so much on pushing the pixels. The thing
Mhm.
is that I would say that I love pushing the pixels. I love that is what makes me think I'm valuable. That I still have value in this world, pushing those pixels, and even for the pixel pushers like me, I think that this is great, because then it just gives you more of a template, just that's not starting with a blank canvas, but just like
Mhm.
something that uh, puts you in a place where you can just refine and do the weird, spend more time on making it weird and making it special,
Mhm.
uh, and and also, we're working as part of Mushu too, was like, hey, let's work on a web app, and something that we want to release this month, at the end of this month, hopefully for config, that is happening in June 26th or something. We want to release the alpha version of Portfolio Maker for designers. Uh, and what we have found is that the little robots are great at, you give them some information, and then suddenly with that little information, they know a lot about you.
Mhm.
And I mean, you can give them, I mean, you can give them just your name. And if, I mean, you will have a huge advantage because you have a lot of content out there. You have you have talks, you have a YouTube, you're active on social media and stuff. So these LLMs actually know a lot about you already.
Mhm.
And
Scary.
you could, huh?
Scary a bit, right?
It, I mean, scary. Well, you put your information out there, you put yourself out there, you have said, here is my
Here's
data.
me.
Here's me. And now everyone could just like use one of these things and know more about you.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that this stuff. So yeah, it is a little bit scary. Not trying to say that it's not, but also like it is it's kind of our fault.
For
we
sure.
have we have agreed to the terms and services of these things, and which I don't agree that we knew that this was going to happen when we agreed to it. But hey, damn. Anyway, what we have realized is that these things are great at telling a story about anything, and what where we designers struggle a lot, at least I do, is like updating our portfolio, updating our personal pages that tell the world about what we're doing, our interests, our hobbies, what we worked on, all of that stuff that is like, oh my God, where do I begin? And then once you already are working, maybe how do you know if someone is working? They haven't updated the portfolio for years, right? Because you don't have the time to update it because you're working, and it doesn't feel as necessary because like, hey, you're working, you have a job, and you usually go and update your portfolio when you need a job. So but you still feel like you should be updating it, right? And it feels actually bad that it's like, hey, if like you have a link to your portfolio and it's not updated, and it's always that struggle that we have as an, oh man, it's like the final boss for us designers. Like the
Yeah.
final boss in the design game. We always see the portfolios like that. That thing that we have to update, keep updated. We have to tell it of ourselves, which feels unnatural sometimes. At least if you were raised Catholic as me, is that, hey, no, you don't matter. You are nothing. And with that guilt. So if you are born with those beliefs, then trying to make a page that actually you're trying to boast yourself and say, I am the best. It feels unnatural and you feel bad about that. But the robots, they think you're the best. Patricia, you are the best designer. You have so much to say, and the robots just love you. They're like, yes, let's make the best page. Patricia, just like let's tell the world about this project, about this video that you made, about this essay that you wrote, because and all these things that are about you. The robots are amazing at just like making the connections between all this information that for us is scattered around.
Hmm.
It's in a Figma file, it's in a Notion file, it's in a post that you put on social media. Like now you're thinking something new, you're realizing that the robots are evil. Well, hey, let's grab that data and just put it in a page where it tells that story about you. And you have control over those pieces that are around there, scattered around the web or in documents or in files, and and present it to the world in a cohesive way in which you have control. So yeah, we're working on that and really excited.
Nice.
It's also just hard, like working with, like I was saying, the little robots are little babies, and just like babies in diapers walking around the house, just like painting the walls and doing
Yeah.
stuff. You're running around them. It's like, no, don't do that. Come on over here.
Yeah.
Hey. It feels like that where you're working with them because they are just have so much energy and just like,
Always motivated,
yeah,
excited
always
about what they
motivated.
create.
Yeah, but usually it's just like, no, don't do that. Stop it. So yeah, we're working on that, and it's like a tool that allows people to create their personal pages, specifically portfolios. We're like going with that, but
Nice.
eventually we see the opportunity for this to use it for your person, for a brand, for a company, for a business or something, where it's like you build a knowledge graph in the back. You give it more information, and a lot of that information can be things that are already out there, or you let it connect to your Figma file, for example, and say like, "Hey, this is the latest project that I just finished." And whenever you finish a project and you have your Figma file, that's the moment when you should be updating your portfolio, right? You
Yeah.
should go out there and, I mean, if they allow you, I don't know if that depends on the client, but let's say that
Yeah.
you do have that and you have the thumbs up, the green light to update your portfolio with a project. That's the that should be the time we do it because it's fresh in our minds. We know what we were working on, but that's the last thing we want to do because we're
Exactly.
done. It's like, oh man, I don't want to go out there and just like now prepare the files. Just like, hey, tell a story about this and reverse engineer the design process that I supposedly followed to to do this when I actually it was just a lot of Slack threads where we made the decisions and there was no design process. It was just like,
Yeah, that's
do it
super
like
cool.
this. Yeah. But now you have to go and tell a story to the world in your personal page. And it just feels like, again, final boss. I don't have time for that. I don't have the motivation. But if you were to connect it to this like eager robots, it's like, hey, just finish this thing, update my portfolio with that stuff. Then it's like, oh, dude, it looks like you made this. It looks like you made this. This project looks like it's you're solving healthcare and the EU. Wow. Okay, cool. Let's tell the story about that. Let's. It seems like you try this and you try that. Let's tell the story about that in a case study.
And
So the
when will
robots
this
are
go live?
great at it.
Sorry, when will this go live? I'm so excited for it.
Yeah. So
I
we're
need that.
thinking that this should be at the end of the month. The alpha version, the really alpha, early alpha version, that it just allows you to write a prompt and then it spits out a page
Oh,
that
exciting.
it can
Okay.
regenerate.
I will keep an eye
But
on it.
our idea is for it to actually be something that you can still edit. I mean, we're designers. We need control. We need to collect those things and say like, oh, you silly robot, let me rewrite that for you. Or oh, you silly robot, you put it in the wrong way. Let me do it again. So
Yeah.
I'm realizing that as someone working with creating tools that use AI, I think it's important to always have the human override.
Yeah.
And I mean, like for example, do you know that I mean, now we get into elevators, these box of dead, these metal boxes of dead that take us like 100 floors up and then 100 floors down. And this thing that you don't know what is happening, right? But usually it was in automatic, right? For the first decades their elevators existed, there was a person, and we still see it in the movies, right? Where it's like the person is like, what floor? And they will push, add a lever, and it seems like they will give you the confidence that someone is in control. Someone is there manually taking us to the floor that we should go. So for once that those people were not needed, and because elevators were automatic and you could just push a button and it will take you to that floor, people didn't like that. And historically, apparently, we still, like, for years had to have a person there just to give the confidence for people that is like, hey, what's going on? Like, just pushing the button when you're used to having someone that is actually like controlling this thing and give you that
Yeah.
confidence. uh we still needed that, and then suddenly people were okay not needing that person there. So it was more of a person that was there just to give assurance to the passengers of the metal box of that. And same is happening with autonomous cars, right? Whereas like they don't need a steering wheel if we are like saying this can drive themselves, but you as a passenger, at least the appearance that you can override what the robot is doing. It gives you that oh, what's going on? It gives you that confidence, like, okay, at any moment I can jump and just like try to say stop, or just like
Yeah.
push the panic button. Uh, and 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 I'm realizing that building these tools, there should always be that thing. There should
Mm-hmm.
always be that person that is there to give you control of the elevator and that gives you that assurance. There's always that human override over these AI tools. And like, even if the AI can do a lot of stuff, and with time, it will get so good they will just like get it right on the first time.
Yeah.
But while we get there, and also just while we humans start accepting that these things can do their job, and we start like giving them the agency to do more things, then we're going to need the steering wheel a little bit less. We're going to need the manual override a little bit less. But for now, we were originally doing everything with AI, and it just felt so bad. Just like,
Mhm.
no, I want to edit stuff. I want to like remove stuff.
Of
I
course.
am a designer. God damn it. You know,
Yeah.
I need control. So yeah, we're keeping, I don't know, just a snippet of behind the scenes. So like how it
Yeah.
feels to work building tools with these things, and like thinking of the user on the other side.
Yeah, I think super, super interesting. Thanks for sharing that so openly. I think this is, I'm really happy that you emphasized that because even for people who are using AI, if you are just like a user, a designer using Mushu, ChatGPT, whatever, it's so important to have that oversight of the outcome. Never just copy and paste it. You always need to iterate. There is nothing that's like 100% perfect. You always need to iterate. You need to fact check. And this is what a lot of people, I think, get a little bit wrong. They think like just copy and paste it. Now it's done, like easy. But no, definitely not. It's not there yet. And it might never get there. That you can just like throw something in a black box and then get something out and it's like perfect. There needs
Yeah.
to be someone who's in control and who also understands the process, who understands what's
Hmm.
going on, what the AI is doing, what's the result, what's the
Yeah.
desired outcome, all these kind of things. And yeah, same for building a product with AI. Super interesting.
Yeah.
So Pablo, do you have any last tips for our listeners? They're all designers, they're all excited about the future. Any tips that you can give them to prepare for what's ahead of us?
Uh, I think, hey, I mean, if there's something that I would tell people, just like be on top of stuff,
Yeah,
and be keep yourself updated,
yeah,
but also don't lose hope. It's really easy to just like see the things that these robots and read all the Twitter threads and all the videos. It's like UX designers, rest in peace. It's like, dude, like all that stuff is dumb, and
yeah. And it's also not
it's
true.
just like it's not true, and it's made for you to feel that fear, and for you to en- to make you engage with that fear that you might feel when you read those things, and with that, so don't look at all those things in a skeptical way. And I'm telling you, as someone who uses these things to create tools, I can tell you they're not that good yet. And so we still have, I mean, as designers, we still, or professions are still safe for like the next 2 weeks. So yeah.
Woo! Okay, great. Awesome. Love that. 2 weeks. Okay, that's enough to finish
No,
my career.
don't lose hope. We will adapt. Things are changing really quickly, and so it might feel overwhelming. And if I might feel like, oh well, why even study, or why even try if the robots are going to do it all? It's like, no. Yes, no. See it as more as an opportunity. I know it's hard sometimes. I feel it that way. I feel the whole wow, what are we doing? We're going to be irrelevant. Sometimes I feel like that. Like, and not just designers. I feel like relevance as humans is like these things are just like making music, writing poetry. What is happening? And but I then are again, I'm like, oh, I'm a victim of the fear. I'm a victim um, of this I don't know, hyped thing that is happening, and it's like trying to get into my nerves. And no, I should see the opportunities of this, and I invite everyone to not lose hope and see the opportunities on this thing. And if anything, I see a renaissance of human stuff coming, like more and more people. What you were saying about the copy pasting is so real, that we have gotten really good now at detecting what is AI and what isn't. If someone writes an email to us, an answer of an email, now we know if it was written with AI or not.
Yeah.
And if we see an image and something, we have in the last year, I think, detected the filter for BS on that too. So I think that there's going to be also a need for more human stuff, 100% organic designs, 100% organic art, human made. I think that there's going to be a renaissance of that, and it's going to be a need for that stuff. And so, hey, it's just like don't feel the pressure of the hype as much. But yeah, like, hey, play with these things. They're fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. I think amazing last words.
Yeah, be like
Um,
Patricia, like become a team of 20, from one person, then you can become a team of 20 with all the things these little robots can help you do, right?
and just like play around with it. This is what I really enjoy. Just like play around with it. And then you will also find like the problems, the pitfalls, the things that are not working. Because you also, and you mentioned that several times, you also need to be cautious with these tools, with personal information,
Mhm.
with data. And you need to educate your design team, your clients, and really speak up. Because if you don't, then other departments will do that, right? So if you don't play around with it, if you don't know how AI works, how to use it, how to leverage it, other people will do it. And
Yeah,
probably not
others
for
are
the
going to make the
user's intent.
decisions.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't want that. So,
No,
designers, I hope you're
do
all
your job.
inspired. Do your job and maybe play a little bit around with Mushu AI. I will link it in the description box so you can all check it out. And also with the new portfolio tool, excited for it. So, Pablo, keep me updated. Super excited to try it out.
Thank
And
you so much, Patricia. Thanks for
yeah,
doing this. This is so fun. Um,
yeah, it's fun
well,
with you for sure.
it was fun that you just allowed me to just talk and talk, and just like you were just like, okay, do your thing, Pablo. You're just full of yourself. Be the
Be
egomaniac,
yourself.
attention seeker that I am. Thank you
But
for
I
allowing
think
me to
you're
do
not
that.
like that. I think you're not like that. You're just, I think you're just thinking while you're talking, right? Like coming up with ideas. You're just like, I think like typical creatives. A lot of creatives, they're coming up with ideas while they're talking, then like their brains are starting, to, I don't know, come up with something, ideas,
Yeah.
concepts. I think that's a good thing. So,
Thank you,
no,
Patricia.
you did very well.
Thank you, Patty.
Yeah.
Now I can call you Patty. Yeah.
You can. It's so funny when I told you about my semester abroad in Mexico, and there, like everyone called me Patty. So it's like a typical thing in Mexico, obviously.
Yeah, Patty.
Yeah.
Yeah. That will be the way to call you. Yeah. Thank you, Patty.
Okay. Anyway, Pablos, thank you so much for being in the podcast, sharing your wisdom with all of us. Looking forward to see what you're coming up in the future. And thanks to our listeners. Thank you so much for listening and hear you all in the future. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Gracias.